All right, my friends, Aaron Michael Eschenberg here, bringing you some honest astrology. We're going to talk about the lunar eclipse that is happening on the 9th of January 2020. All right. This is going to be a full moon lunar eclipse that's happening in the sign of Cancer, where the moon's going to be, and the sun is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. Okay, so this is conjunct the nodes. All right, now I'm going to tell you, if there's an astrologer that knows about this, it's this guy right here, because I was born on this exact lunar eclipse in 1982. Okay, so this is in my chart. This is something I'm very familiar with, this energy. This is definitely about releasing, about letting go of when you have the sun connected with the south node, it's a loss of identity to a certain sense. It's a loss of material things in a sense, as well as your heart, your emotional moon is on the opposite side, okay? It's saying it's over here. It's not what you think you want, It's like if this wasn't conjunct the nodes, it's like, bankers and government and order and all this stuff, but it's just like releasing that. It's like, this is who we were in the past, okay? This is what we wanted in the past. So the north node and south node, the north node is like the head of the dragon, where the south node is the tail. This is where you were, okay? So what we have been, what we were thinking about is, money and power and this big Wall Street concept of business and our lives and our sense of who we are and how we have to prove ourselves to one another, And we've got the emotional moon home in the sign of Cancer. It's just like, I care about people. I need to care about how you feel. I need to care about, understanding if we're at crossroads with one another, it's not just, my way or the highway and we split both ways. It's like a deep, compassionate yearning to truly put ourselves in the shoes of the other person and saying, I care about you as an individual, or I care about this thing or this job or whatever it may be. And it's important for me to take that empathetic stance and understanding where it is you're coming from. So it's a lot of putting ourselves behind us and allowing our hearts and emotions to take front and center stage. So let me show you the chart for a quick second, because this is going to happen at 20 degrees and the nodes are at 7 degrees, okay, which is quite a bit off. So you see here, there's, about 13 degrees, 12 and a half degrees separation, all right? But when we're talking about the nodes of the moon, okay, so the sun, or the south node is right here at 7 degrees, just by Jupiter. So Jupiter is very closely conjunct to the south node of the moon, okay? And Jupiter's our planet of more faith and understanding and knowledge and all these good things. So anything within 18 degrees of the nodes, we're still going to see the shadow on the moon. We're still going to see, part of if it was a solar eclipse, we're still going to see within 18 degrees the moon covering up part of the sun, okay? So although this is a loose conjunction, this is still a lunar eclipse, okay? So the full moon in general, and now these are Uranian charged energies, okay? Uranus is our planet of breakthrough, the aha, the eureka, the lightning striking, the earth shaking, the ground crumbling, it's just like, it's like the car crash, kaboo! It happens in an instant. Look at your phone, or we blink our eyes and then bam. Or maybe that's not the case at all, but it's like, it's something that happens now. You know what I mean? So these eclipses are Uranian energy. There's a lot of energy that's far different from like the normal full moon or new moon energy. So the full moons, of course, is like the illumination. New moons are the beginning. So it's like a call and answer that's going on, right? So the new moon is this new beginning that we had in Capricorn, and it's just like a new way to look at ourselves, a new way to govern ourselves. Is there a way, like if I'm seeking out, Venus has been over here in Aquarius during the new moon and the full moon. So it's just like, if I want to see myself getting into this kind of a relationship, or if I want to see myself in this kind of a job or this kind of a career path, I need to take the appropriate steps to get where I want to go, and Venus is saying, I see that future, I see this opportunity, I see this possibility, and the sun and all of this energy in Capricorn is saying, day by day by day by day, make the increments, stay consistent at doing something to achieve that goal. Okay. I'll bring up, I think I brought this up in one of my January monthly videos, and you know, just to share something about myself, because again, this is about, you know, this energy is very realistic in my personal chart. So it's like when I was younger, I wanted a Lamborghini. You know, like that was, I'm not even a huge car guy, to be honest with you. I could kind of care less. But I wanted that Lamborghini, you know, it's like my eyes were fixated on like the curvature and this, and it's fast and yada, 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 whatever. Right. And then getting older, it's just like, I could never imagine spending that kind of money on a Lamborghini. You know, what could I, you know, I could buy a $20,000-$30,000 car, and or even a used car. You know, I mean, that's almost more where I'm at. I'm like, you know, cars are one of those things you drive off a lot and it immediately depreciates value. Anyway, it's not about cars. But, you know, it's just like, you know, where do I need to spend money? Where do I need to spend my resources? You know, is a huge thing, not just me, but this overall energy that's going on here. Where are we putting our attention to? Where are we putting our resources? You know, because it's like if we pinch on this end, we can have so much more on this end, okay? And it's about following our hearts, following our emotional needs, not the needs of competition with others, okay? So at 20 degrees of Capricorn, we're talking about the competition with other people. Okay, we're talking about group competitions, you know, Apple versus Microsoft versus Google, Mercedes versus Ford versus Tesla versus Rivian, you know, who's going to be the next, you know, vehicle of the future? Who's going to have the new technology of the future? And there's this sense of like, well, my group is fighting your group. Okay, so this release, the South Node conjunction, is like, we're only in competition with ourselves, you know, and there's a sense of saying like, I want you to be at your absolute best when we do go into this race together. Like, I encourage and I empower you to be at your best, because that only then will I be at my best. You know what I mean? Like, if we're trying to put somebody out of the race by tripping them or doing them dirty, you know what I mean? We're showing nothing to ourselves and what we can achieve as individuals. But like when other people are really, really great at doing something, that makes us strive to be really, really great as well. Or maybe we are really great. We're really great. Let's be honest. We're all really great. You know, so it's just like taking away this sense of group competition or competition between one another, and truly just embodying our own authenticity. Okay, so what does that mean? On the opposite side, you know, again, these oppositions, like I can see fully in front of me. The moon is fully illuminated. I can see it clearly. I can see all the shadows fully illuminated. And not only that, but I see the shadow of part of myself on this moon being projected, you know, this eclipse. So at 20 degrees of Cancer, you know, this is like the opera singer taking stage and just blowing us away with this, you know, crazy performance. And it's just like, she didn't get there, he didn't get there by going out with friends all the time because that's what was popular. You know, it wasn't about, you know, chasing the opposite sex or again in that competitive nature of flow of like, well, I want to stay cool, I want to stay popular, I want to stay, you know, in with the group or whatever it is. It's like, no, that individual, you know, spent time and countless amount of hours perfecting their craft. You know, so this is a sense for us perfecting our craft, perfecting our authenticity, who we are truly, you know, inside, not what we want to be seen as on the outside. Okay, so that's you know, Capricorn is how others see you. You know, this is our public image, where the moon in Cancer, again, moon is home in Cancer with the South or with the North Node. You know, this is like what people don't see of us. Like even Scarface, you know what I mean? Even Scarface, this tough guy, you know, just a character, you know what I mean? But even the greatest mob boss or the greatest, toughest, you know, woman or man gets sick, gets injured to a point of being crippled. There's a point where they need someone to take care of them, where they're going to a hospital, where they have to surrender, you know, and allow the nurses and the doctors to do their job, okay? We surrender to the Mother Moon. Moon comes up at nighttime and we just begin to fade down. You know, we surrender. We're not sitting there with a Tommy gun in our hands or you know, or our armor on. we let this stuff go. And that's what the moon is teaching us. That's what this eclipse is teaching us. It's very, very, very important eclipse, and especially coming right off the gate in 2020 of leading us to where we're going. Because we have been having this facade of competition, this facade of trying to keep up with the Joneses, or whatever that expression. I think that's right. Keeping up with the Joneses. Keeping up with the Kardashians, whatever. It's just like, no, we're completely allowed to just be ourselves. And by being ourselves, it later on gets that noble recognition. So by continuously, it's just like, hey, I'm not going to go out tonight or doing this. I'm going to stay at home and I'm going to paint, or I'm going to stay at home and read this book, or I'm going to stay in, Cancer is home, staying close to home. Our nurturing moon, which never leaves us, stays very, very close. Earth's natural satellite, right? So it's just like staying close to what our heart needs, what our heart feels, okay? So it's just like, again, continuously doing something, and that Capricorn energy is saying these daily increments, just keep going, and it's just like going from line drawings to these magnificent sketches. Okay, that takes time and patience and practice and due diligence, and that's what this is saying. And then when we're able to deliver ourselves, truly our authentic selves, that's when we get the recognition. But if we're constantly in this like keeping up with the Joneses thing, we're never going to take the time for ourselves to tap into that aspect of ourselves to perfect our craft, to perfect our skills, to put on that performance. This is not prima donna. You know what I mean? This is not prima donna mentality. Like, oh, I just learned this in shop class, and now I'm going to go teach it. I just learned this song on the guitar, and now I'm going to go perform it on stage. It's like, no. Keep rehearsing, It's like, that's funny, like in a thing of like bands, it's just like you rehearse on your own time, and then you come together. That's band practice. Then your performance is on the stage. You don't practice, rehearsal is not practice. You practice on your own time so that you're prepared for the rehearsal. You practice on your own time so that you're prepared to take stage. Okay, so this is us preparing ourselves, and again, tapping into our authenticity. Who we really are. What do we really need? What do we really need in this life? And again, there's nothing wrong with nice things. There's nothing wrong with fancy things. So don't take what I'm saying the wrong way. But it's just like, a $5 watch to a $1,000 watch still does the exact same thing. It tells time. The $3,000 car at the used car lot down the street and the Lamborghini essentially do the same thing. They get you to A to B. Now there's a sense of style and class and all of this stuff, and that's that Capricornic energy. We like that. We like nice things. And again, there's nothing wrong with liking nice things, but it's like, what do we need right now? Okay, so moving aside from just this eclipse, okay, because this is the beginning. This is the beginning of several. This is like the first of the dominoes, okay, and then boom, 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 boom. There's a lot of energy that's going on right now this year. I'm gonna come to the chart and I'll show you. That's screaming recession. That's screaming scarcity. That screams astrological lack of. Okay. I'm going to talk about that right now because this eclipse is a big part of that. And it's, again, understanding what we really need right now so we're not stretching ourselves too thin in the future. Okay, so look, Jupiter here just moved into Capricorn on the 2nd or 3rd of December. Okay, so just a month ago. Okay, now it's going to be there till December of 2020. All right, so it's got a long way to go here. The last time Jupiter was in Scorpio was 2007 to 2008. Okay, in America, that was a great recession. The housing market plummeted. We were living in scarcity. Okay, the jobs. I think I was a waiter at the time, and it was like, holy smokes, getting people weren't going out to eat. They were not going out to eat as much. They were being stingy with their money because they simply didn't have it. It's like, what's in the cupboard? I'm just going to throw something together, peanut butter and jelly or cereal or whatever it is. So Jupiter being in the sign of Capricorn, Jupiter is our planet of abundance. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the limitations of this physical world. Okay, the limitations. And, as Jupiter, let me come back here. As Jupiter wants to expand, Saturn says, look, if you expand too much, this balloon's going to pop. You put too much into the cup, it's going to overflow. You're wasting the liquid that you're pouring into this cup. There's only so much we can fit into it. You put too much pressure on this desk, boom, it's going to break. And then all of these things that are sitting on this desk are unusable. They're unreliable. Okay? So as Jupiter wants to expand, Saturn says, no, you have my walls, the real physical walls of reality that are going to limit you. So it's just like the past, and especially with Jupiter being in the sign of Sagittarius last year, there's a sense of abundance. Like everything's gravy, the gravy train. There's just so much. There's so much joy and so much love and so much, money, and we can go out and we can put it on the credit card. And now this year comes around and we're singing a very different tune. I don't want to scare people, by any means, but it's important to understand that balance. Again, not taking a single sip of water and then throwing the bottle away, As well, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, again, not to scare people because that's not the point of this astrology. They're meeting just 2 days later. Well, I mean, there's still a conjunction here happening, but they're exact on the 12th, okay, at like 22:43. So they're already starting this conjunction on this lunar eclipse. Jupiter is already, Jupiter has been sitting on the south node. Okay, it's still in conjunct to the south node, is like letting go of this idea that there is just plenty. Letting go of the idea of this, this is abundantly going to be here anytime I need it. Again, like looking at the water. From California, from like 2013, 2014 to present, look at the California water reserves. It's frightening. Again, not trying to scare people, but bringing awareness. It is absolutely frightening how much water is not there. And unless we do something about it, because that's the point here, is like understanding this on one end creates something on another end. I just posted on one of my channels on Waking Masters, somebody in, I forget what country, has successfully created a way to create ocean water into fresh drinking water. It's like, those are the breakthroughs. That's the eureka, the Uranus, Uranian energy that we're talking about here. Through scarcity, we can understand and appreciate what we have. Through scarcity, we can find a new way, a new alternative. Hey, plastic bags are terrible for our environment. Well, we found, we can take a pineapple husk, which is sustainable, and we can create a bag out of this, and then you put it in hot water and it dissolves. Mind blown. You know what I mean? It's just like, this is the kind of energy that we're going to be seeing. Another aspect of this is Uranus and Taurus. Okay, Taurus is about money, it's about finances, it's about material possessions, it's about things. It's a very stable sign of the zodiac. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was 1934, which is the heart of the Great Depression. Okay, it's it was, we had rations, we didn't have money, it was illegal to carry gold. So we can certainly see between Jupiter being in Capricorn, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction last time that happened was in Scorpio in 1982, right around the time I was born on this eclipse. Again, there was a point of recession, scarcity. Before that, the conjunction happened, I believe, during World War II. So there's a lot of things that are going on. And again, I by no means want to frighten people, but at the same time, it's about preparation. I'm just the weatherman saying it's most likely going to storm. Bring an umbrella so you're not, getting your Sunday best soaked. Okay. So it's understanding this little bit of scarcity of what do I really, really need. This lunar eclipse is highlighting that. What do I really, really need in my life? What do I really need to spend my money on right now? What do I really need to do? Is it going out doing this, or is it staying in and doing this? And Cancer Moon is like, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to stay in and cuddle up under my blanket with my cat. You know, or better yet, is staying in and crafting what you do to a place of perfection and being so freaking good at what you do, you're creating your own path. Okay, that is the heart, that is the meat of this. It's staying in, learning your craft so well that when you go perform, that when you take stage, all eyes are on you. And it's just like, yeah, well, you're clear. You know, it's just like the quality difference of something. You know, are you going to pay $100 to go see, you know, your friend's band play at the local pub? No. Are you going to pay $100 to go see your favorite artist at an arena? Yup. Why? There's a difference in the quality of the performance. There's a difference in the quality of what they're bringing. Not saying that our friends that are in local bands aren't amazing and beautiful and talented, but you understand what I'm saying. It's like they perfected this craft so well that it's worth throwing the money at. Take my money, you know, this is amazing. It's worth spending money on this book. It's worth spending money on this thing. You're worth spending money on. So when we hone in and harness our crafts, we lock into our own authenticity of really following our hearts, not our heads, you know, not keeping up with the Joneses, not thinking about competition with others, and just, you know, taking this competitive nature and building on it and saying, well, what do we really need? What is the solution to this issue? And maybe I can look at this in a completely different way, under a completely different light, and see it fully illuminated. And that full illumination is this full moon in Cancer. All right, and this conjunction of the nodes is the eureka moment. It's the aha, saying that's it. That's what I've got to do, or that's what needs my attention. That's what needs my focus. That's what needs my caring, my nurturing abilities. Yeah. So this is an absolutely beautiful time. It's very exciting energy to be in right now. It's something the world needs, you know. So I'm very excited about it. You should be very excited about it as well. As you know, further, I'll come back for just a moment. We've got, you know, Chiron here creating this quintile over here to, you know, and look at that. Mercury is also conjunct the sun. So Mercury conjunct the sun, and the quintile happening over here. This is like that creative energy that I'm talking about. That again, this is like a gift from the universe. A gift from the universe in your abilities to do something. Okay? Again, it's just like your poetry can change the world. Your poetry can heal other people. Your song can heal other individuals, you know, as well as yourself. It's like when you're writing that stuff, you know, it's a sense of you healing, you living in your authenticity, and the ability to reach the other individual and make an impact on their lives, you know, and that's coming through a creative outlet that is being gifted to you through the universe. So enjoy it. You know, this is a beautiful, beautiful eclipse, a beautiful amount of illumination. Thank you for checking out the channel. If you're new to the channel, you know, we're doing daily horoscopes. We just put out the monthlies, all kinds of fun things. You know, just put out a song too about this surrendering, you know, opening up our hearts, opening up to love. So check it out. We're got all kinds of good stuff in store for you. So have a happy full mooning, a full illumination, tapping into your divine. We'll see you tomorrow.